going to get into is we're going to get into some biome editors. We are going to edit the biomes of all these places, and then we're going to start assigning clans to the territories and stuff like that. So first things first. So most of our land currently is grassland. As you can see right there, it is all highlighted right now. Most of the territory that is highlighted, or all of the territory there is highlighted, which is about 30% of our world. Not 30% of our world, I'm sorry, it's 30% habitable if you live in grasslands. The area, actually it is the biggest though. It does have 1,000. So we went ahead and updated some of the biomes and stuff like that. So we turned this into more of a marshy land up here. We receded back some of the tundra and stuff like that, the colder climate biomes, I guess you could say. We pushed those back a little bit, gained a little bit more grassland specifically over here, changed some of this more into temperate forests and stuff like that, added this chunk here, added this chunk here, so that way it's not too big. Created a savanna here going across. Instead of having like an actual desert or whatever where the equator is, we put a savanna going almost straight across it there, where it slowly dies off because there's just so much water over here. You can see we followed up some of the waters, we made some of them longer and stuff like that, and then we did the same thing up here. We kind of gave them a little bit of a buffer as well till they get to the really cold temperature areas. So we're going to go ahead and say that that's actually pretty decent. Temperate forest, rainforest and temperate forest, stuff like that, obviously the most livable places. Temperate seasonal forest is, again, they have a little bit less, but you can see as we go through, you can see where all of the areas are. So wetlands actually takes up a good portion of the world because, again, part of the world just recently started to flood. So obviously the big area of flood is going to be here. This area here is going to get some major flooding, and then a little bit of flooding happening over here, it looks like, is what we're going for. So now that the biome is all set up, we're going to click on this tab here, keep going across. So now we can set up the states, the provinces, the diplomacy, the culture. We can change their names, the religions, so on and so forth. We're going to pretty much keep all of that stuff. We're going to go ahead and get rid of biomes and then add back in states. There they go. So now you can kind of see again the borders of all of these states and stuff like that. So we're going to go back over here to tools and we're going to click states. So now that we're on states here, this will bring up all the information for every single state. So unfortunately there is a shit ton of spacing. About a big chunk of the world, it's only 500,000 people, don't live in any claimed territory. Unfortunately, I haven't found a way to get rid of this realistically. I imagine it's all this area up here that is technically neutral. Unfortunately, it doesn't highlight it like, I thought it used to highlight the areas as you hovered over them. Oh, okay, there you go. Now it does. But like, if I go over top of neutral, it highlights nothing. There you go, there's the red line being drawn around that place. We could sit here on neutral for a little bit and see, but again, it doesn't look like anything neutral is popping up. Maybe if I zoom out way out here. Nope. So unfortunately, there's no way, I think, to get rid of the neutral piece, which is unfortunate, but we can continue forward nonetheless. So obviously, this is the biggest nation landmass-wise. There it is. So it's in the top left side there. So we'll go ahead and start off with them. So they have just about the most cities. They are second most number of cities that they have. So we will go ahead and click on this. And we'll bring it up here. So we will keep the name
Sure, Stan.
the same. They are not a monarch sultan. Okay, so we went ahead and just changed all of the forms of government to empire, because again, this is going to be an empirical society. I might have to look into that a little bit because, like I said, I don't necessarily want them to all be, I don't know if I want them to all be empires or not, if I want some to be kingdoms or principalities or something along those lines, but either way, they all are underneath an empire. So basically we're, we're more or less building provinces, and the world is, we'll figure it out. Either way, though, we're going to keep moving forward here. So capitals, things like that, I'm not going to be changing, but we are going to come, and you know what, we're going to keep that one open. We're going to click this place here. We're going to change the name of this. Perfect. Okay, so we've got this one down. So this will be the territory of Unicorn. So it is owned and dictated by the clan Unicorn. So we're going straight out of the Oriental book. We are giving all of these territories clan names, is what our intent here is. So we're going to go through, and I'm going to finish filling out some more of these territories and giving them clan names and stuff like that. And I will get back to you guys in a little bit. Okay, so the Empire of Ryukyugen is here. We're going to put, this is going to be the biggest area of the world, so on and so forth. So we are going to add some more territories to it and other things like that of that nature onto here and stuff. So now we have to go through and decide what other clans we want to put on and where we want to put them at. Excuse me, jeez, where we want to put them at. So each of them have their benefits and stuff like that. Obviously, Unicorn is up here because they are in mostly grassland and savanna, which is very good for open warfare such as cavalry-style charges. So that will be best for them. Areas over this way, though, have more forest and stuff like that. So horse cavalry would not be as prevalent, but that allows for much different things like different types of beasts like Bengals and Panthers and stuff like that. Lions, whatever. Not lions, I mean Panthers. Trying to think of bears. There you go. Anything like that, okay? So we have to line some of that stuff up as well. Going on to the next thing here, and like I said, I'm gonna finish filling this out completely, and then I'll come back to you and explain everything to you. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so we are back. So I have finished going through and naming all of the clans. So as you can see, if you are not familiar with the Oriental campaign or Oriental Adventures book, the 7 main clans are the Crab, the Crane, the Dragon, the Lion, the Phoenix, the Scorpion, and the Unicorn. And then we have, obviously, the Empire. So this here is where the Emperor sits himself. I may take away more of his land in the future. The Dragon and the Sparrow, I kind of made them have some serious border gore issues. But part of the reason for that is because I wanted the Empire to own more of that river. I was trying to figure out how I could make the Emperor own the whole river, but I don't want to get rid of the Sparrow's capital, and then the only way to do this would I'd kick the Sparrow over this way, take some more of the Dragon's land, which would leave this Scorpion to gain more land here, which I'm trying to refrain from doing because I don't want to cut down the size of the Scorpion, but I don't want them to be too much bigger than they already are. So, unfortunately, the Sparrow just kind of has some leftover land. The Sparrow is a minor faction, so not too big of a deal there. The Mantis is 2 factions that combine together already. 2 clans, anyway, I should say, to form the Mantis. I think they were the Wasp, and I can't remember what the other one was, but they were definitely the Wasp. So they formed up and created the Mantis. The Lion is another major clan. The Boar here is comprised of Crab and Crane members. So the Crabs and the Cranes used to be at war, and at the end of the war, a new clan was created called the Boar, which basically only comprises of ancient land that used to belong to the Crab versus land that used to belong to the Crane. So that was a white. After that war ended, basically the Crabs and the Crane both lost land dictated by the Empire there, so on and so forth. And then the Hare is another minor faction as well. So unless you guys have any questions about anything else, I think that is it. I'm not sure what the heck these black lines are. But whatever, I'm not too concerned about them. They start up here and spring out words, and then there's some more. But either way, I'm not too concerned about that. So now that we have our areas, all of the territories set up, and everything like that, we can click on the state editor here button again. We're not here to edit any states this time, but now we can kind of see the final count of population. As you can see, the unicorn has lost a little bit of population. I think they still hold the most territory. Yes, they do. They hold the most territory just by a little bit. The lion, which I didn't really change much of. If anything, I took a little bit of land away from the lion. The crane, I gained a little bit of land. Scorpion gained quite a bit of land. Crab gained a little bit, lost a little bit. The phoenix gained land. The Rukin, the actual emperor himself, he lost. All he did was lose land, lost massive amounts of land. The dragons gained a good bit of land. The mantis gained and lost, so they're probably about the same. The boar, again, gained and lost, but probably lost more land. The hare stayed the same, and then the sparrow, all they did was lose a bunch of land. So they are definitely now the weakest. So as we can see, after the reorder here, the 4 minor clans are all on the bottom, which is great. Area-wise, population-wise, again, they should be down on the bottom as well. We will go ahead and adjust these numbers, though. As we need, technically, in the Empire, we need 30 million people there. So we will get on that now. Yeah. Now we have to go through and, edit the burgs to make sure that we have the correct number of burgs in every location. As you can see, the number of neutrals actually went down because there was this island right here that I went ahead and claimed for the dragons. Okay, so I've pretty much got everything done at this point and the way that I kind of want it. There's not much more else to do other than to generate up some notes in my personal folder. But all of the leaders have, or all of the nations have names. All of the nations have leaders with a name as well, and a general idea of what their population is. At this point, I'm going through just adding hundreds of thousands of people to each of these cities, because, like I said, this is an Oriental-style campaign, and China, throughout its history, has always had millions and millions of people. So that's what I'm going through doing right now, making sure that there are millions of people within the realm. As of right now, there is like 33 million people or something like that across the country, this country anyways, which is enough in most D&D instances, but I want it to be massive numbers of people. So I'm giving every city that I possibly can in the capital as many people as possible. Just so that way it looks like a majority of the population wants to live within the capital itself. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys all on another episode.